can I sell barbecue from my home in Texas? So in this video of cottage foods laws, we're going to dive into this question, which seems to be extremely popular in the state of Texas, but there is a little bit of misunderstanding as to what you can and cannot make from home under cottage food laws. So this is Damian Roberti. Welcome to Cottage Foods Laws. It is YouTube's brand new home-based food entrepreneur channel, all dedicated to cottage food laws and creating home-based food businesses and then launching them and developing them into full-time businesses in commercial facilities. So let's dive into this particular question about barbecue in the state of Texas. Of course, that is a very popular type of food in Texas, which is one of the best states from what I heard. I've actually never been to Texas myself, but I've heard that the barbecue is pretty crazy. But can you sell barbecue from home? Now, if you're talking about smoking meats, proteins, cooking proteins and such, and selling them out of your house, the answer is no. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. Legally, you're not allowed to do that. Now, if you have a food truck or if you have a mobile food unit or a separate structure or building on your own property, if the local ordinances and laws allow you to do it within the city or county, you potentially could, yes. But can you do it directly from your home? No. Under the Texas cottage food laws, the list of items that you can make do not include anything that is time or temperature sensitive, and that is a product that would have to be kept at a certain temperature, or it has to be consumed within a certain time frame. Those are products that are considered, or food items that are considered potentially hazardous, and that is the reason why in Texas you cannot sell barbecue from your house. Now, with that being said though, you can, if you have a delicious or very unique recipe for a barbecue rub, a seasoning mix or dry mix or blend, yes, you actually can sell that from your home. That is something you can sell under Texas's cottage food laws, and that has to be something that's made in your own kitchen, has to be packaged and of course labeled correctly. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed into Texas's cottage food laws specifically in this video because I was answering this question from a subscriber in regards to the barbecue question, but you can definitely do that. Yes, you can sell dry herbs and mixes from the home that is related to barbecues, and in some cases, as a matter of fact, depending on the actual pH level of the barbecue sauce, you can do that as well. Now, I'm just double checking my notes. You definitely need to make sure that the pH level is less than 4.6. In most cases, you can do that as well. So if you've got a barbecue sauce or a marinade or a seasoning or spice blend that is barbecue related, you most certainly can do that. So the one thing you need to know also about Texas cottage food laws is if you start to sell these types of barbecued items, you are limited on several things. Number one, you can't sell more than $50,000 a year in your home with that particular product. You also have to sell it directly to the consumer. So that means that you need to go to farmers markets, local venues, local fairs, festivals, different events of that sort, and you need to sell it directly to the customer itself. You can't sell your barbecue dry mix rubs that you make at home to, let's say, a restaurant for use. That's something that's not allowed, or a retail store for them to resell it to their customers. Third-party sellers are like that. If you were to take that product to a restaurant or a cafe or a local barbecue place and start to sell it, that's something you can't do without a commercial kitchen or a commercially licensed facility. You'd have to do that separately. Okay, so that makes sense? So the idea of selling barbecue out of your home is definitely something that you can't do, and pretty much actually on all states in regards to their cottage food laws, that's pretty much the same across the board. You want to make sure that you're in a commercial kitchen when you start to produce it, to sell it to retailers or wholesale it or begin to supply a local barbecue, maybe a pitmaster or a local barbecue restaurant. If they're interested in your spice mix or seasoning blend, you can maybe make a sample at home, let them try it, but you can't produce it and then begin to sell it and market it that way. You have to sell it directly to the customer itself. Now, the one thing that's really cool though is that in the state of Texas, their cottage food laws allow you to sell it anywhere within the state. Now, let's say you were to go to a different city or a different county or a different part of the state. Make sure you double check to see if you do need a separate business license in order to collect sales tax in that city or county. But you can go to a different event within the state of Texas as long as you make the transaction directly with the customer, and they have to have the item in hand. There's a lot of misleading information out there on the internet about shipping products, and you can't, under cottage food laws, ship a product over state lines, nor could you actually ship a product to another city or county in the state. You have to actually deliver it and transact in person. So I hope that answers that question. Yes, the Texas barbecue is one of the best, but it's definitely something that you can't do from home legally. And I'm sure there's quite a few of you out there that'll probably end up making barbecue by yourself and just doing it anyways. But make sure you follow the law and definitely follow the guidelines, guys, just to make sure you keep yourself safe. Now, I would recommend, if you are getting into the business of creating a barbecue rub or seasoning or something like that from home, most cottage food laws do not require you to have a business license or even have inspections in some states, or even have an incorporation or even food business insurance. Be sure you guys are getting some type of LLC for your business, getting a business license, and getting yourself food business insurance. When you deal with food business, even if it's cottage food, that doesn't exempt you from being liable if somebody gets sick eating the product that you have, or somebody goes to the hospital and gets ill. They could technically sue you, and you personally would be responsible for any damages and such in court if you don't have an LLC or have some type of business policy set up for your food business. So don't take any chances with it. If you really love barbecue, you want to get into the business, maybe you have a barbecue sauce or seasoning, do it. Go for it. But do it in a way that makes it safe for you, that you're not going to be held liable personally for what happens. So if you have any more questions about Texas cottage food laws in regards to barbecue, let us know down below. Or if you actually are owning a business from home, let us know what your experience is. And I'll see you guys on our next